Hello, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you're all awesome and well. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I'm pretty sure it's all working, but out and about today. I'm working from my outside office, the pool. Not going to the office today. Got a few things to do. Hey, hope you're well. Good morning to the early birds, whoever's there. Friedrich, good morning to you. Kevin's already in the house. Morning, Aaron. Yeah, there you go. Morning, Marcus. Yep. Good weather here in QLD. Hopefully where you are, it's all right. Luke, good morning to you. Any of the Facebook users behind the veil? Usually you're behind the scenes. Good morning. Good to see you. There's Luke. Tim. Yeah, awesome. Jeff, how are you, mate? Awesome to see you. Hey, folks, welcome along. While things are warming up and the live stream gets a little bit going. Hey, Kel. There's Kelly. Hope you're awesome, buddy. Good to see you. Alex in the house. Some of the regulars. Good to see everyone here. Thanks for joining me this morning. For those who don't know, most of you do, though. Most of you do, but Jason's with my name. If you didn't already know that, we do this thing in the mornings called the Wealth Coffee Chat, where we pontificate, communicate, opinionate, whatever it is, some sort of caffeinate. We caffeinate, pontificate, and opinionate. And factionate. I don't know. Is that a real word? Factionate. No. Well, hopefully it is anyway. We talk about the idea of property investing and creating wealth through real estate. Specifically, mostly about residential real estate and mostly about the idea of buying good quality properties and keeping them for the long term. That's what we do each morning. I've been coaching property investors across Australia and New Zealand, maybe just like you, for over 20 years now. Helped people buy over 10,000 properties, 10,000. We property manage 1,500 of them. We've done 4,000 loans, et cetera, et cetera. So along the way, learnt one or two things and try and share a few of those with you in the morning. So if you're brand new or if you've just joined our program or whatever, good morning. Jason Witten here. Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats. Let me know in the chat, if you are new, say a quick hello. Where are you coming in from? Where are you coming in from? Good to have you with us this morning. Hey, Mick. Good morning to you, mate. Good to see you here. So, hey, listen, I've been reading a book, interesting book, quite actually mind-blowing book, actually, changing quite a lot of way. Well, not necessarily changing, helping me think about the future in a really important way. But before we get going, tell me, in the chat, what book has changed? What book has had it? Put it in the chat. One book, if you would say, has made a massive impact for you. A book that's made a huge impact for you that you've read and it changed the trajectory of your life. I'll give you two of my most favorite books. I'll give you three, actually. I'll give you three. Three of my most favorite books changed the trajectory of my life as I've been going along. Actually, I'm going to give you four while you're putting it in. Give me one or two. You can give me as many as you want. A book that have changed the trajectory of your life. Number one, a book that changed the trajectory of my life is my primary school teacher gave me a book called What Plane Is That? What Plane? Plane. That inspired me as a young boy growing up in a very small town, less than 100 people, to join the Air Force. I never thought I could, and then I thought I could. It was amazing. So what plane is that? Then when I did join the Air Force, a buddy of mine gave me a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Again, changed the absolute direction of my life. And forever grateful for that one. And I saw a couple of you guys put it in there. Oh, yeah, Mick, Extreme Ownership. Yeah, love that one. Extreme Ownership, absolutely. And we've got a Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The third book that changed the absolute trajectory of my life is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which catapulted me into the world of property investing, actually, which was pretty cool. And the fourth book that has changed the trajectory of my life is Leaving Microsoft to Change the World. Leaving Microsoft to Change the World, absolutely awesome. And I reckon I'm reading right now the Dale Carnegie, absolutely legendary, Luke, for sure. And maybe the fifth book right now, which I'm reading, thanks to you, Johnny. John, you know who you are. Put a bit of a heads up on this book. Die with Zero. Die with Zero. Interesting. Die with Zero. And reading it now and really making me think about what's this all about? What's the point here? What's the point of all this stuff that we're up to? And, you know, I've talked about this before. You know, I love the idea of, helping others. And that's what I've been doing for many years. But tell me, this is really interesting. And I'm going to talk about this because for easily 20 years, I've been working on one plan, and many of you right now might be working on this plan about wealth. All right. So tell me, what do you think? There's two plans. I just sort of came up with this conversation just yesterday, but there's two plans that we need to actually probably run side by side, and it's interesting, but the energy and implementation of these plans might differ. Anyway, there's two plans. There's one plan that I've been working on for 20 years. You're probably working on it right now when it comes to money and wealth. What's that plan? There's two plans. Chuck it in the chat if you think you know what it is. It's probably a bit cryptic the way I'm saying it because I don't want to give it away. But there's two plans. The way I see it, there's two plans. And for me, I've been putting 100% of my time, effort, there you go. Dead right, Tim. Dead right. I love it. Tim's on it. You're all over it like a kid on an ice cream on a hot day, Tim. Right. So the idea of two plans. So money and wealth. So two plans of money and wealth. Right. Okay. Create, build, make some money, right? Make some money, create wealth, two plans, create it. And then what is the other one? And sacrifice plan, leisure plan. Yeah, maybe the investment plan and the return plan, Luke, as we go. And then the other one in here, actually, we'll go back, see if that's still on there. No, it's gone. Anyway, the two plans. I'm using a different system outdoors today. I wonder if that's fallen out. Yeah, here we go. I'll put it back in. Stick with me. We've got our two plans back, but I'll have to scribble it back in there. All right. So our two plans, okay? Our two plans. One, how to make the money, how to make the wealth, and very interesting conversation, very interesting book that I'm reading, like I said just before, Die with Zero, how to, and I'm just going to use this word, spend it, how to make it, how to spend it, all right? And, we're all talking about, save some, invest some, buy properties, you might buy some shares, you might even get into some crypto, all of that sort of stuff, right? Nothing wrong with that. It might take us some time, and over time, we've got some wealth going on for our lives. But I've got a question for you. And this is a really interesting question that I saw the other day, which is something that I'm starting to think about now, which is, and I've been thinking about it for a little bit. Yep, yep. Enjoy life, travel, but build wealth just in case I become old. Yeah, Jeff, exactly. Then now we're all the same, right? We're all like, we want to enjoy it. And what are the things that we want to enjoy, folks? Put it in the chat for me. Tell me, give me a list. A basic list, a general overall list. Now spend some money. So you want to keep some for later. So you want to put some aside when you're old, just in case you might. Most of the time, people talk about medical and quality of life, right? So what else? What else are we trying to do? We're going to sort of give some to our kids, generational wealth. Pay it forward, maybe some charities, all of that sort of stuff. Freedom and choices. Yeah, for sure, Tim. And those things mostly with people are around travel and experiences, right? Travel and experiences. So, there's probably a few other bits of details in there, but you want to sort of have some aside. Yep, time back. Unfortunately, Luke, we can't get our time back. And that's the problem, isn't it? We think we can. And this is one of the things that I'm sort of reminded of. It's not like I didn't understand this stuff, but sometimes you just have to focus in one place or another. Reminded of, that we need to understand what it might look like for us and the future. So let's have a look at this. It's pretty interesting when we think about our world in these sections here, so let's do it. BC and AC. What do you think those two sections stands for? This is before kids, and before kids, children, BK. I'll put before kids and after kids, right? After. And then in the middle section, well, that's kids, right? For many people. And if it's not, that's cool. No stress. I'm just talking about my experience and how it lands for me, right? So the idea that when, for many of us, when we have, let's say, some dollars, often before kids, we have a smaller amount of dollars. Maybe during kids, we even have a less amount of dollars spare. And then after kids and retirement, we might have, some more to go around, right? And talking about for us as investors, we might not even be investing there. We might start to invest. And where is our wealth at what time in our lives? Often the time where we have the energy. So when we have sort of the energy is when we have often the least amount of money and the most amount of time, right? In here, we still have some energy, but we're committed to others. So, we've still got energy. We have not much time, and we've got enough energy to go around. And then often we have a lot of money, but we've got less energy and less time at the end. All right. So the idea, the conversation in and around this book is to say, all right, well, when are you going to deploy the money, right? When are you going to start to do the things that you say you're going to do? If we're talking about this stuff over here, we're saying, give to our kids, travel and have experiences. Well, for many of us, what happens, what's shown is we save all those ideas up for later, for when we're a bit older, and unfortunately, the quality of those or the capacity to have those experiences often lessens. So, what's the whole point this morning? For the takeaway, for me, for you, I'm just sort of talking about my takeaway right now. So the idea is, if we're thinking of, let's say, leaving our children some money or doing something when we're 70 or 80, let's say for the average person, we might pass away at 70 or 80, right? What would be the age of those people that you're giving those money to? And this is one thing for me. I'll talk about this right now. So I'm 50. I'm 50 years old, and my kids are 20, 18, and 13. Right? Okay. So And actually, you should download this this app. It's called Final Countdown, folks. Download this app called Final Countdown and put it in there. I put it in, and it's information from actuaries around the world, in life insurance actuaries, sort of saying, how long are you going to live? And I answered all the questions, and it reckons I've got, on average, this is 41 years to live. So I'm going to live till I'm 91, right? 91. And that's about right. I was planning on living to 90. That's the idea. So if my children, let's say, oh, I'm gonna give my kids some money in the future, when I'm old, when I cark it, when I die, I'm going to leave them some cash, right? I'm going to leave them some money then. So, how old will they be? Well, my oldest son will be 61, 57, I think that is, or 57, and then, 52 or something. Anyway, check my math for me. So they're going to be in their 50s and 60s, right? When I kick the bucket and I leave them some cash, right? Right. So, let's not say 50 and 60 years old, because I don't feel old, but, could they benefit from that money that I'm planning on leaving them anyway? Could they benefit more by having that money now, or some of that money incrementally now for the next 40 years? What could they do? What could they achieve with some guidance, with some access to capital right now? Not when I'm 90, but right now. What could happen right now for that? And, and it could be the same, folks. It could be if you're planning on working with a charity, if you're planning on, helping family members or whatever, what could it be right now? What could it be right now, folks? And and encourage you to grab the book and download the app and have a listen and see what takeaway you get from it. So my plan now, and I was talking to my kids, and I've been helping them, obviously, think about it. What can we do now? Is it going to be more powerful now that they learn now with some of that money and bring it forward early rather than wait till later? Right? Mind blowing. Because then what happens, the stats were showing in this book that the older we get, the more worried we are about life, the more money we keep just in case. And they were hesitant to give it to those we love because we're worried about taking care of ourselves and all these sorts of things. So it's a really interesting conversation. And my takeaway is, what can I do now? What can I do now? And if I do it now, what would be the compounding effect of the now over the next 40 years for that person? Those people that I love, that charity, that business, that experience, right? There's no use me having $1 million over here when I'm 90, right? And have not done the thing that I wanted to do. On here is also a bucket list, right? There's no, it's counterintuitive. It's not counter. It doesn't work. Anyway, there you go. So my whole point is and maybe this is a conversation for me, and maybe it works for you too. Have you got a spending plan? You can call it an investment in experience plan. You can call it whatever you want. If you don't want to call it a spending plan, that's fine. Because we invest our time creating and making, which is important. I think that's absolutely important. But what value are we going to get? What juice are we going to squeeze out of life, folks? And that's the point of money. The point of money is to have some fun and do some things that you can't do without it. That's the way I see it. Anyway, there you go. So the book is Die with Zero, folks. Die with Zero. And the app that you should download and find out how long you're going to live, I think it's interesting. Don't get freaked out about it. It's called Final Countdown. It's the final countdown. And then you make a bucket list. You make a bucket list, and then you organize your finances and your wealth, folks, around continuing to grow it. There's nothing wrong with that. Continue to grow your wealth. Continue to, have resources that you can help yourself and others. Awesome. How about we have a plan that invests in experiences and valuable things as we go, not wait till all at the end, as we go. There you go. Anyway, that's my takeaway for you this morning. That's a Wealth Coffee chat. Hopefully you got something out of it. I'm only halfway through the book, by the way, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the rest of it. All right, folks, there you go. Thanks for joining me. Wealth Coffee chat, done and dusted. As always, join me tomorrow for another one if you're up for it. We usually do them about 10 past 8. And if you've got something that you think might be useful, you notice something out there in the marketplace, give me a shout out. Drop me a chat in the chat. Drop me something in the chat. Let me know what's on your mind. All right, folks, that's it from me today. Wealth Coffee chat over and out. You guys be awesome. Be well. Remember, this thing's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time to create some wealth. Let's make sure we enjoy some of it along the way, incrementally as we go. All right, folks, take care. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.